right now.
Accept it so that it can go through, so that the one day thing can stop.
Okay. Hey, we're live. Let's talk fantasy football. Nobody's on, Ryan. You run away like someone's on. Nobody's on. I never get that lucky. Hey, everybody. How did your fantasy teams do? How did your fantasy teams do this weekend? A lot of good stuff. Egbuka had very good. We know what JJ McCarthy's like. Hey, what can I say about Detroit? They're not the same Detroit we know from last year. Green Bay is as good as we thought they might be. Egbuka is maybe the best in the class in wide receiver rookies. What was he, picked 19th? What about the 18 teams that passed on him? Waiver, Chubb or Charbonnet? I'd go Charbonnet. Chubb stunk it up. I would go Charbonnet, dude. He Charbonnet also is their short yardage guy. So when they're on the 1 or 2 yard line, they give him the ball. That's why I go Charbonnet. Brigang. I can't pronounce even names like Smith half the time. So are we on? Are we on? Is anybody watching? We have one person on. Nathaniel, I'm at a Yankees game now. That's a surprise, Nathaniel. I didn't think you'd be at a Yankees game. Trade DK and Monty for Terry and Aaron Jones. I have Jaden as quarterback. Trade DK and Montgomery. So obviously I know DK is Montgomery, the running back with Detroit, for Scary Terry and Aaron Jones. Well, how does it make you guys? How does it make you better? Do you just not want DK and Monty, and you think Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones. The rumor is that Jordan Mason is going to get a lot of the carries. So I guess you're kind of trading a part-time running back for a part-time running back and hoping that Scary Terry, I don't think he had a huge game, right? So you could maybe go that way. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know how it makes your team better. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know how it makes your team that much better unless you have, you really like one of them, or you think that, Montgomery's not going to play a lot at all, and Aaron Jones won't lose carries. All right. Hill or DJ Moore or Dobbins at flex? Well, I wouldn't go Tyreek. I wouldn't go Dobbins. I would go DJ Moore. I mean, I know I don't think he put up a massive amount of points, but I would go DJ Moore. Tyreek Hill in that Miami offense is stinky. And Dobbins, happy Tuesday. Hey everyone, Daniel Barry. I don't know what that guy's saying. All right. Got offered Derrick Henry for Cup and Alvin. What? Okay. If you get Derrick Henry, you win that trade. If you're giving up Derrick Henry, you're losing that trade. Cooper Kupp didn't do much, and Alvin Kamara doesn't put up the points Henry does. Plus, he plays for the Aints. And outside of maybe a tight end, I don't know how much offense they're going to have. I am Manor, Ao Manor. What is it? Bouty? Is it Booty? It's Booty, I think, right? It's Booty. Yeah. Calvin Austin, maybe Austin, but you're talking about you're obviously talking about like a deep league. If you have to start these guys, I don't know that I would feel comfortable starting them. Remember, everybody, it's been 1 week. Okay, so everything that we know could flip. Like for instance, like Ridley could have a good game. I knew going in against Patrick Surtain, he wasn't going to have a good game, and he didn't. So, can this thing see me? Okay. I'm just talking. I'm also live on YouTube, so that's one of the things there. I would maybe go Calvin Austin out of those names. I don't think any one of them. It'll be interesting to see if they can hold up their production. Okay. Hunt or Pacheco moving forward. Who had the better game on Monday or Thursday or whenever Friday? God, I don't even know what day it is. Did Pacheco have more? I mean, neither one of them are great. And if you have to choose one going forward, I would maybe go Pacheco because I think he might get more carries. I would look at see who had more carries, touches, whatever they call it, attempts. Would trade either Chase or Lamb for Bijan, PPR. Would trade either Chase. You would trade either Chase Milton. Okay, Milton. Hold on. Okay. Would trade either Chase or Lamb for Bijan. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fine. Chase didn't put up many points. Lamb had a good day, right? And I think Bijan did well. You know, if you can find somebody that would trade you straight up like that, sure. I mean, if you want to do that, I think Chase will put up more points. I think the first game, I don't even know that Burrow looked great. He didn't have monster numbers. I mean, Justin Herbert was better than he was. ETN, Kamara, Connor, Chase, Brown. Okay, start 2. What we saw from ETN was very positive. I like Chase Brown a lot. If I had to pick a team, although I just give him a 6 out of 10, not like a 10 out of 10, like a real fan, but I kind of like the Bengals and I kind of skew that way. But I think Chase Brown is going to be a solid running back this year in that offense. I like what ETN did. However, I don't want him to regress back to last year, and that's my only fear. So on the conservative side, I would say Chase Brown and Kamara. But if you want to go and roll the dice a little bit, you can with ETN. You can pull down, you could go with ETN as a starter. All right. Who has questions on YouTube? We're getting a lot on TikTok. I'm on both tonight. I wanna get rid of Monty, and get a stack with Jaden and Terry. The only thing about that, Brady, it's a great idea, but if let's say they lay an egg in a game, you don't get many points. I get it, but let me just see here. Let me just look this up. Let's look up what Terry did, because I don't think he had a Terry kind of day. What he had 3 point. Well, this is a non PPR. I'm just okay. Oh, where's week 1? Oh God. Oh my God. He had 3 point. Well, on a non or a half PPR, he had 3.7. The thing about it is, if he does that again, you're kind of screwed, Brady. So I wouldn't necessarily do that. All right. Messi or Ronaldo. Doesn't matter. It's soccer. Got offered Derrick Henry for Cup, Alvin, have Rice, London, and Lamb as my wide receivers. Well, is London did London do as well as we had hoped? Got offered Derrick Henry for Cup, and yeah, I think we talked about this. If you're getting Derrick Henry, you win that trade. I would take that. Derrick Henry's not going anywhere. He's going to have just as good of a season as he had last year. I mean, I know everybody was like, oh, what about Derrick Henry? Everybody was kind of passing on him. I don't get it. I mean, the guy is a stud. Both my starting my chat is going nuts. I hate when that happens, by the way. I don't know why that happens. I'm not. Okay, do I start Evans over Egbuka? Well, let's see. That's a very good question. We'll see what the experts say. I mean, Egbuka had a really good game, as I was hoping. Now, I did say there's an unknown to Egbuka because he's never been a starter before. Now, the experts are picking Mike Evans again. Wait a second. Why is it in? Hold on a second, guys. Week 2. They're still picking Mike Evans. So I would maybe go Mike Evans. If you want to roll the dice, I would go Egbuka, but I think the conservative pick would be Mike Evans. Okay. Do I start? Okay. Why am I so scared to play Tyreek? I wouldn't play Tyreek. That Miami offense is horrible. I wouldn't play Tyreek at all. Lamar Jackson. Oh my God. My chat's going. Lamar Jackson's still going to do good after loss. Yeah. Lamar Jackson's going to get back on the horse and ride into the sunset. I mean, you think something like that's going to scare him? It's not going to scare him. I mean, it hasn't scared him. He's driven. He's an MVP candidate this year. And, and he won it twice, and he lost to Josh Allen. He's an MVP candidate again this year. Egbuka had a great first game. Yes, Egbuka had a tremendous game. Now, last week I was telling everyone, be careful of the rookies. You don't know what you're going to get. I said Egbuka should be good. I don't know that he'll be good week 1. He was good week 1. So I feel more comfortable saying, yeah, you can start him. Now, the experts are saying, somebody just asked, Evans or Egbuka. Well, they play on the same team, but the experts are saying Evans. I can understand that, but if you want to roll the dice, you can go with Egbuka. That is not a problem. All right, Harvey and Pittman for ETN. Who wins? I think RJ. If you're talking about RJ Harvey, I think RJ Harvey's going to be like. I think he's going to be really good for Denver. Okay, the thing with ETN is, I know a couple of years ago he was one of the top running backs. Last year he was god awful, and so if he can maintain what he did in week 1, it's a good trade. It'll be it. But there's a big what if. Can he hold up? Can Jacksonville hold up? It looks like they could, but they played Carolina and Bryce Young didn't look very good. So it's like, 3 weeks from now, you might be saying, oh my God, I wish I never traded for ETN. Just a big question mark about ETN. And that's one reason why I would just give ETN, let's talk about ETN next week. Maybe you've already made this trade, but I just would slow the roll on ETN at this point. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm way behind here. All right. We haven't. Don't forget to ask questions. Don't forget to hit that follow on TikTok. Hit subscribe on YouTube so you know when I'm live. I do have a fantasy football book. You can buy it. It's on Amazon. You just look for you can Google my last name. It's Geiser, first name Tom. It's, I think Amazon actually changed the name. It's on Amazon. I think they let the name go through. It's Let's Effing Go Dominate Fantasy Football or something like that. I didn't realize that. Play AJ Brown this week. What a disappointment, man, right? Really, what was he targeted once? He had 8 yards or something ridiculous. Poor guy. Yeah, he had 1 point. Well, yeah, he had 1 reception, 8 yards, 1 target. But they play Kansas City. You got to expect him to get better. My only fear is Kansas City, Keenan Allen scored a touchdown. Ladd McConkey didn't get a lot. Was there anybody else? Oh, on the Chargers. Who was it? Who was targeted? I'm trying to think, but yeah, he is a superstar, or he's a star, but they didn't use him a lot. If he's your best option, yes, I would play him. But if he's not your best option, if you have other options that are maybe more solid, I would go with them. Coleman or Pearsall. Let me look it up. I really like what Keon Coleman did the other night. I really do. So let's look at Pearsall. Pearsall didn't do bad either from what I sort of recollect. Okay, the experts are saying, no, I did this wrong. Pearsall and Coleman. The experts are picking, they're playing New Orleans. That's why. They're picking Pearsall. So I would go Pearsall based on the matchup. Javonte Williams or Kenneth Walker. Look, Javonte Williams got all his points on 2 touchdowns. You can't expect that again at all. I would go maybe Kenneth Walker here. I just, it's, if Williams is going to get all his points on touchdowns, he's kind of the way Cook was last year. Williams or Walker? Hold on, Walker. Yeah, the experts are picking Kenneth Walker, but they play Pittsburgh, and Williams plays New York. I would probably go Walker. I would agree with them on that one. Okay, McMillan or Odunze to start. Okay, I'm assuming you're not talking of, Jalen McMillan from Tampa Bay. You're talking about Tet. I would probably go Tet because I don't know that Odunze got a lot of targets. I guess I have to look more at the stats of these games. Yeah, they're saying Tet. I would agree with that. I think Tet will have more points than now. Last year at this time, Caleb Williams was targeting. Hey, Beto, how you doing? Caleb Williams was targeting Odunze, but this year it's mostly all DJ Moore. I traded AJ Brown and James Conner for Terry. Sorry, my chat is going crazy. I traded AJ Brown and James Conner for Terry McLaurin and Omarion Hampton. Thoughts? You know, Terry McLaurin has had 5 seasons in a row of 1,000 yards. Although, again, as I said last week, and I say it again, 1,000 yards if you play 17 games is only 59 yards a game, receiving and rushing. So it's not elite status in my mind at all. So just bear with me on that. But I mean, Terry McLaurin probably is in the ballpark of AJ Brown. James Conner puts up good numbers. Omarion Hampton is a little bit more of a roll of the dice. Now, some people say that Conner may or may not have his job, but they say that about almost every running back. Walker, they say that about. Aaron Jones, they've said that about. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't know how much this made your team better because you can kind of pencil in what James Conner is going to do or the range that he's going to do. And for Omarion Hampton, that's a little bit more of an unknown. So you're taking more risk, but you've already made the trade. I just don't know how much it makes your team better, other than you're probably mad at AJ Brown and the Phillies. I always do that. For the Eagles of like giving him one target all game. So I get that. And maybe you're just sick of James Conner. You're not a big fan. I get that. Maybe you want a rookie to be excited about. I get that. I don't think there's a clear, decisive winner. If anything, the AJ Brown, James Conner might be the winner because we don't know what Omarion's going to do. He could be really good, but what's a really good rookie running back's number? 1,200 yards, 1,700 yards. I mean, 1,200 yards, you're kind of in the ballpark with James Conner, aren't you? All right, I'm getting behind. Do we have anything new on YouTube? No, we don't. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, hit a bunch of likes. We're only at 948 likes on TikTok. If you want to jump the line, send me 2 dolphins. Guys, it's only like 20 cents. It's not a lot of money. I'm not asking for $1. I'm on TikTok saying that, but you know, if you want to gift me on YouTube, you'll jump the line. I'll get you right away. Oh, great. All right. Martin says, if my chat can slow down, I traded Bijan, Coleman, Sampson for Saquon, McConkey, and Sutton. So you traded. Let me just do something real quick. You're talking about Dylan Sampson, right? So you traded 2 running backs and a wide receiver for 1 running back and 2 wide receivers. And I think Saquon should put up good numbers, better than he did game 1. I think Bijan did pretty good. I think Keon Coleman is on the rise in Buffalo. Sampson or Korsky Merritt. Oh, that's a good one. I'll get to that in a second. And then you got McConkey, who didn't do great. He did okay. And then Sutton. If anything, Coleman is kind of the outlier because he could have a much better year than he had last year because he was targeted a lot. He caught a lot of balls. I think he put up a good number of points. Bijan and Saquon aren't that far apart. So I feel like you strengthened your wide receivers because Coleman, we still have to make sure that, you know, was he going to put up 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards? McConkey had 1,000 something last year. Sutton had, I think, I don't know what he had actually off the top of my head, but I believe it was over 1,000. So I think you made your wide receiver core and or your bench for wide receivers better. And you could even think about, you know, packaging up McConkey and Sutton for like Justin Jefferson or something like that if you wanted to. Someone might go for that if they don't have any other wide receivers. Bijan is so good. Well, Saquon is as good. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Bijan and Jamar Chase. I don't think they had the greatest games that they've ever had. Derrick Henry had a great game. Nobody was really talking about him up until about a week ago. Everybody kind of writes him off because he's older, but that shouldn't matter. Okay, start 2, Charlie. Chuba, Kamara, ETN. Okay, I think the safe bet is Chuba and Kamara. If you want to maybe roll the dice, I feel like you could go Kamara and ETN. Take a little bit more of a risk. And the reason why I'm saying that is ETN had such a bad year. This past week, he had such a good week playing Carolina. Okay. Is that going to transfer to better teams? Is that going to transfer over the course of an entire season? We're not sure. He had such a bad season last year that it really worries me to say, oh yeah, you can start him now. Now, after this week, if he has another great week, I'll be saying start him. But there's a little bit more of a risk. Jaden Daniels and AJ Brown for Puka and Bo Nix. How does it make you better? You're trading a wide receiver and a quarterback for a wide receiver and a quarterback. Maybe Puka. Puka, I think, did have a much better game than AJ Brown, but AJ Brown should put up more points. Jaden Daniels, has a good chance of putting up more points than Bo Nix, but they're kind of in the ballpark. You kind of have Jaden and Bo Nix. They're kind of in that same range. And AJ Brown and Puka, I like Puka better than AJ Brown overall, but what's the difference in points? Is it, 20 points? It's not 200. It's not 300 points that are going to be different by the end of the season. So it was more of a, maybe a lateral move. Maybe you like Bo Nix. You just feel better about their team overall, which I think a lot of people do. But, Ingram got hurt, and I don't think their run game is quite where they want it to be. So, yeah, I mean, out of all the names, the one I like the most, I think, is Puka, because I think he can put up some massive numbers. Not to say Daniels and Nix won't as quarterbacks, but I think Puka will have a better season than AJ Brown, but I don't think it's going to be 300-point difference. I think it'll be within 50 to 100 points. So it makes you better by 3 points a week. So maybe it's a good trade then. Okay. I'm way behind here. What do we got? Samson. Oh, Samson or Korski Merritt. All right. No. Boomer, I don't even know if you're still there. Hold on, guys. Let me jump to YouTube real quick because I neglect them and nobody's paying for anything anyway. So I will get to everybody in a second here. What am I doing? I don't know that Samson Korski Merritt, but no. That's not how you spell it. How do you spell is it cross key? It's cross key, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're saying Krosky Merritt for Washington Dylan Sampson plays Baltimore. Krosky Merritt plays Green Bay. But Washington is a better I don't know, man.
Plays Baltimore.
Dylan Sampson. The Cleveland plays Baltimore.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I would say
Krosky.
Neither, if you haven't.
Well, okay, but he's asking. He's specifically saying Krosky Merritt or Dylan Sampson. I don't think Dylan Sampson. I think Jerome Ford is still going to get, and Judkins and all that. I think Cleveland's maybe a 2 or 3-headed monster. That's the only reason why I would go with Krosky Merritt, because I think that Eckler isn't, a solidified number one or anything. So
the only thing about Sampson is he got all his points from pass targets. He had 8 targets.
Okay, well,
or 8 receptions.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen again because Cincinnati's defense is so bad. I would go with Krosky Merritt. All right, Jamar Chase for CMC and Josh Allen. I'm the one giving Chase. Yeah, I think that's if you can get Josh Allen and you have some middle lean quarterback and you can get CMC. Yeah, I think it's a great trade. If Josh Allen starts and CMC starts and you're getting rid of Jamar Chase, I think it's a good trade because CMC proved that yes, he had some sort of calf something, but it didn't translate into anything that kept him off the field. And Josh Allen is good for similar stats to last year. I mean, he's not going to go down, or if he goes down, it won't be by much. So yeah. CD Monty for Sutton, London, and Travion Henderson. Sutton, London, and Travion Henderson. Okay, so CD is a starter. Monty is not necessarily a starter. You get Sutton and London, who are starters, and Henderson, who I don't think put up a great day. But Monty, yeah, I think that's a good trade because you get Sutton and London essentially for CD because you got to figure Monty, is he going to put up, is he going to have a better year than Travion Henderson? Maybe not, because Henderson's probably going to be the clear number one in a few weeks, but we'll just see. We'll see. I think getting Sutton in London is what puts you over the top. Jerry, Dak, and DJ Moore for JSN. You're giving up too much. Jerry, Dak, and DJ Moore. Jerry Jeudy, Dak Prescott, and DJ Moore for JSN? Am I missing something? What am I missing here? What did Moore do? Let's just see. What was his week? DJ Moore, where are we at? He had, this is Yahoo, but he had 7 points. Jackson had 14 points. Okay, so he was, I wouldn't do that trade. I wouldn't give up 3 for 1 like that. Should give away Henry for Chase and Chuba. Should I give away Henry? What do you need? I mean, I don't know that I would give away Henry because I think his numbers are constant. I know that Chase had like one of the best seasons in football. I totally understand that, but that teams are going to be locked in on him. What did Chuba do this week? He had a good week. But remember, they have Rico Dottle, and the thing with Chuba is last year he was like this. Yes, Gagan, I'll get to you right now. Who should I start this week, Hill or Egbuka? Oh, Tyreek Hill or Egbuka? I'd go Egbuka 100%, dude. But I'll see what the experts say. We'll see if we agree with them or don't. I would go Egbuka 100%. I don't think that offense. Yeah, they're saying the experts and I agree. I can't believe it. 100% to 0 Egbuka over Tyreek. I just think the Miami offense is a shamble. Like there's nothing to it. Trade Chase and Hill, Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill for Lamb and Higgins. Okay, you're trading. Okay, whoever gets Lamb and Higgins wins the trade, but you are giving away Chase, who's a big playmaker. Yes, they'll target on him, but you're getting Higgins, so he might be the recipient of some of those targets on Chase. But Hill doesn't have much value right now. So that's why I would say that the Lamb and Higgins side would win that. I just don't think Tyreek Hill is... I don't think he's worth much. Should I drop Loveland for Juwan? Yeah, Juwan. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably. Did Loveland do? Let's see here. Did Loveland do anything? Okay, he had 2 points. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably do that. I would probably do that. It's early in the season. You got to go where the money is or where the points are. And Juwan Jennings. Wait. No. What am I doing? It's not Juwan. It's Juwan Johnson. Getting him confused with Johnson. I'm getting him confused with San Francisco. I trade away Bucky and BTJ for Jamar Chase. Well, Jamar's not going to have that game every game. Kung Pio bitchin'. You just got to hope that he doesn't have that game again. I don't think he will. I think he'll put up points. Got offered Saquon for Hampton, Ridley, and Bucky. Got offered Saquon for Hampton, Ridley, and Bucky. I think Bucky's going to have I think Bucky should have about, at minimum 75 to 85% of what Saquon puts up points-wise, okay? Omarion Hampton will eventually probably be the clear starter in LA. And Ridley, everyone's high on Ridley. I'm not necessarily high on Ridley. I'm not really high on Cam Ward right now. So I don't think he does much. I think he's sort of a throwaway to make it a 3-for-1. You got offered Saquon. So you were offered Saquon for Hampton, Ridley, and Bucky. I'm not big on Ridley. I know a lot of people are. He didn't really do much as I predicted because he's up against Surtain last week. But I would say that Bucky he might not put up the same points Saquon could, but he's getting within range as long as he continues to start. So that's the one thing. And then Hampton could put up, a solid year. But what's a solid year for a rookie running back? 1,000 yards? He would be good on your bench or maybe a flex. Hampton and Bucky can probably start on many teams, maybe not this week, but, in a few weeks at least, both of them. Njoku or Dalton Kincaid, who would you start? Okay, let's just see what my experts say. Oh my God, I can't remember anything. Njoku or who? Or Dalton. I'm not a huge Dalton Kincaid fan. I'll admit that. Yeah, the experts are saying Njoku. Oh wait. Yeah. Even though they play Baltimore, but Baltimore doesn't have the defense we assume they do. Gagan, thank you for all the gifts if you're still around. Thank you for the Galaxy. I love it. You're super nice. You've been very supportive. Let me just do a quick check-in. Hit that like button as many times as you can on TikTok. Hit it on YouTube. Hit that follow button on TikTok. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That way you know when I go live. Okay. Soul, you start Terry or Ridley? I would go Terry. Here's the thing. I know Jaden Daniels can throw the ball, and he's not afraid, and he's Mr. Cool. Hey, thank you, Gagan, for the heart me. It's heart me or Rose or the heart me rather. I just don't know that Cam Ward can get Ridley the ball. That's the thing. Terry or Ridley? Well, let's see what the experts say. I would be shocked if they don't say Terry, but I know people are across the country very high on Calvin Ridley. Yeah, but they say Terry McLaurin 93% to 7. So I would agree with them on that. Jacoby Myers or Omarion Hampton at flex. Wow, a Jacoby Myers drop. Let's see. Jacoby Myers or Omarion Hampton. I don't know why I'm saying that Omarion. They are saying Omarion Hampton. They play each other. Let's just see real quick. Season stats. Fantasy points, 8.1. It's not bad for a rookie. But you got to be in the teens. You got to be in the teens with running backs, wide receivers. You got to be in the 20s with a quarterback. You got to be at least like 8 or 9 with a tight end, and then hope your kicker can get double digits. That puts you in the ballpark of winning your game. You may not win, but it puts you in the ballpark. Okay, LS is here. Beto's throwing more love my way. Thank you, Beto. Thank you, LS. Let's see, Beto, Monty or Ridley? Ooh, that's a good question because little Monty is obviously not like a number 1 running back. And I'm not, again, I'm not a huge fan of Ridley. Well, This is interesting. The experts pick Montgomery 59% over Ridley 41%. And I would agree with them because if you think about it, I think Cam Ward's going to continue to have struggles. And, so he may throw, but he may get pressured. He may get sacked. He may not. He may hold the ball. He may throw, just a bad pass. And I think David Montgomery, at least against Chicago this week, can, put up some points. So I would go Monty over Ridley. If I get rid of Monty and Diggs, who should I target in a trade? Well, what do you need, D-Complex? I don't know what you need. Do you need wide receivers? I mean, if you give up Monty and Diggs, you could maybe go for like somewhere in the ballpark of maybe Cortland Sutton, Ladd McConkey, maybe a little bit better. You could push the envelope at Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe Nico Collins, possibly. You could maybe try Egbuka. I can't believe I'm saying that. I probably shouldn't be saying that. You guys now will comment that I don't know ball, but so wait, got offered Saquon for Hampton, Ridley, and Bucky. Were you just on here? Did I answer that? Hampton, Ridley. Yeah, I mean, I think Bucky. I think whoever gets the Bucky package, I think wins that, because I think between Hampton and Bucky, that was on TikTok too, wasn't it? So yeah, D-Complex, I think you should, like, wide receiver wise, you can do that. Running back, you might be able to get like Kamara, you might get Aaron Jones, maybe Kyron Williams. I don't think you get Saquon with that, or Derrick Henry. Would you trade Marv for BTJ? That is a good question. Because from what I recollect, Brian Thomas Jr. did not have a Brian Thomas Jr. day, and Mr. Harrison played really well. He plays Carolina. Harrison plays Carolina. Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. plays Cincinnati. I know you're not asking that. You're asking for the season, but I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. had 18 points against New Orleans. He plays Carolina. Carolina, obviously, Jacksonville did a good job on them, and BTJ didn't put up a lot of points. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would kind of stay with, hey, Amanda, how are you? I would kind of stay with, or get, I forget which one it was, but with Harrison. Look, I had Harrison on a couple teams last year, and I dropped him by like week 3 or 4. And the reason, or maybe he was 5 and 6, I don't know. But the reason why was he was really like this. But I mean, what other wide receiver options does Kyler Murray have? He doesn't have any. He's got McBride. He's got Connor in the backfield. And I think Marvin Harrison should have a better season this year than he did last year. And, we'll see about Brian Thomas, because remember, he was doing really well when Lawrence wasn't playing. Like, I'm not like revisionist history here. My fear this year is that he would have a sophomore slump. And I just don't want that to happen. What about Juwan Johnson? Hey, go get him. If he's available, go get Juwan Johnson. If you really need a tight end, he put up 15 points. Can he put that up again? Rattler's the quarterback. You got Kamara in the backfield. He seems to be the go-to person. There's no reason for you not to go after him. So if you have Trey McBride, go after Juwan Johnson. You don't even have to necessarily start him. Give him another week. See if he can put up those numbers again, and then figure out a place for him or trade somebody. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. All right. Now Amanda's on, but Amanda often has a question, but I'm looking for, Amanda's a great supporter of mine. She subscribes to my channel. I do have subscriptions or memberships I have a membership on YouTube. I have subscriptions on TikTok. And basically what that is you pay $2.99 a month, and then you can DM me any questions you have throughout the week. That's basically what it is. So it's worth it. You can say, like, who do I start? I just got offered this trade. Should I pick this person up on the waivers when I'm not online, like during the day? I'll send you what my thoughts are. And sometimes I actually give a long response. Drop Andrews for Goddard. it's kind of early in the season to start dropping people like that. Because don't you think by the end of the season, Andrews and Goddard will sort of be in the same range? But if you're so mad at Andrews and you just want to make a change and you want to pick up Goddard, you can. I'm just saying you might just be careful about how quickly you want to get rid of someone. Because I can tell you a story about me and Brock Bowers last year that I still am mad about. I picked him up after like week 2 or something like that in one of my leagues, and then he didn't have a good game, and I dropped him thinking it was just sort of a thing, and someone got him right away, and the rest is history. Start D Swift or Montgomery. I would go Swift because he's the starter. Also, Terry McLaurin or Jerry Jeudy. Well, that's a good question. Jerry Jeudy, McLaurin. We're getting a lot of McLaurin questions tonight. Nope. Let's see what the experts say. They're saying McLaurin. They play Green Bay, though, but Jeudy plays Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't have a very good defense, and he had 11 points against Cincinnati. They don't have a very good defense. I understand why you would say Terry McLaurin. I do understand that, but he only had 4 fantasy points, and this is a much better defense. Okay, the experts say 90-10 to start Terry McLaurin over Jerry Jeudy. I don't think it's that different. I mean, they're playing at Baltimore, but Baltimore doesn't have a great defense, or they didn't last week. They just didn't. So I would say Jerry Jeudy. The experts are saying Terry McLaurin, probably because Terry McLaurin is more established, but he did not have a good week last week. And I think Green Bay's defense is a heck of a lot better than Baltimore's. I'm not going to start looking at defense and offense, fantasy defense and offense, until I get 2 or 3 weeks in, because one game it could be like this, one game could be like that. So I want to have a couple games, and then we can start comparing that. All right. Try not to spam me, guys, because it just Johnson or Fannin. I'd go, if you're talking about Jawan Johnson, I would go Jawan Johnson, although Fannin or whatever for, who was it? Cleveland. He had a good game. AJ Brown is a wild card. Yeah, AJ Brown's a wild card. Would you trade Hurts and Golden for BTJ and Omari and Hampton? Well, Matthew, you're telling me that you must have a better quarterback, and I'm assuming that's not going to hurt your starting quarterback. I'm assuming you have a better starting quarterback. Don't trade your starting quarterback for BTJ and Omari and Hampton. That's number one. But I'm assuming Hurts is your second or third. Some teams have 3 quarterbacks, which is kind of a jerk thing to do, but people do it. I get it. I'm not mad about it. Golden. Well, this is a good one. BTJ had 1,200 yards last year. You want him to replicate that. He did not have a good first week. Golden did not knock the, cover off the ball. That's a whole different sport. Let me just see real quick. Matthew Golden had 7. Oh, God. Hold on. Stupid thing. I hate Yahoo sometimes. Matthew Golden. Come on. He had 3.6 points. So theoretically, BTJ should be a better wide receiver than Golden, and then you kind of get Omari and Hampton for Hurts, kind of, sort of. I don't know. Would you trade Hurts and Golden? So you're kind of throwing away Golden already. Omari and Hampton should be better than Golden. Well, could be better than Golden, because I think running backs, rookie running backs have an easier transition than rookie wide receivers. I said that like a zillion times last week. So I think getting BTJ and Hampton, as long as you're not trading your starting quarterback, should be good. I don't think Hurts is going to be like Josh Allen this year. I think he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he puts up the points Josh Allen does. So I think you'll be fine with that. As long as Golden doesn't, play out of his mind the rest of the season. All right, here's an interesting one. I hope I'm not missing anybody that's donated. Xavier. Oh, Xavier had 2 Dolphins YouTube chat. Okay, here we go. Xavier, my running back room is Cook, Henderson, Caleb, and Mason. Wide receiver is CD, BTJ, Shakir. Isn't it Booty, DK, and Pearsall? Got offered K9 and T-Mac. Got offered K9 and T-Mac for DK. Yeah, I know. I got you. For DK and Pearsall. Hold on a second. My wide receivers. Got offered K9 and T-Mac for DK and Pearsall. I don't love K9 because he doesn't score touchdowns. Charbonnet scores touchdowns. DK and Pearsall. Pearsall had a pretty decent week, didn't he? I mean, I didn't think he was going to be that good. Yeah, K9 is a huge risk. He might lose his starting job. And Tet McMillan didn't do as well as Egbuka. If it was Egbuka, I don't know. I don't love the trade. I mean, you're trading 2 wide receivers for a wide receiver and a running back. I'm assuming you might need running back help. So if that's the case, DK should be as good or better than T-Mac. Should be. Pearsall could quite possibly do just as good as K9 points-wise, although they play different positions. I just don't know that it's a good trade. I just don't love K9. I just like if it was like Kyron Williams, I would be okay with the trade. If it was almost anybody, well, not anybody. If it was Bucky, well, it's not going to be Bucky, but even ETN would be interesting to me. I just see K9 sort of going down. Charbonnet is bigger and fast, and they always have him, run in the short yardage at the goal line. So that's why I would not do that trade. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Remember, if you want to jump the line, it's 2 Dolphins. Let's go. Matthew Clark, did you ask this already? Would you trade Hurts and Golden for BTJ and Omarion Hampton? I swear to God, we've had this question tonight. Hurts and Golden. Yeah, you've asked this. Yeah, dude, I already answered that. I got Brenton Strange and he got Pearsall. That's on my bench. Thoughts? Kittle is on my IR. And he got Pearsall. Well, I mean, if you've already done the trade, you've already done the trade. I don't know that. I mean, what else can you do, really? I don't know that. I think Pearsall is going to put up a lot more points and be a better player over the season. But if you needed a tight end, I get it. Was there no one else on the waiver wire that you could pick up that might be just as good where you didn't have to give up somebody? That's the only thing I would have thought about before I did it. Do I start Coleman or Sutton? Well, let's see what the experts say here on YouTube. Trying to help out my YouTube folks. I usually forget that they're on because there's usually not many of them on. All right. You said Coleman, right? Oh, Coleman or Sutton? Okay, one at a time. I can't get to everybody's. I got to bounce around. Okay. The experts say Cortland Sutton against Indianapolis over Keon Coleman. I would probably go that way only because is Keon Coleman going to be able to put up the numbers? I mean, Baltimore's defense is not very good. it just isn't very good. I think the Jets probably have a better defense. So, but we'll see. Like in a week or two, I'll start talking about, who has the best fantasy defenses and all that good stuff. But yeah, I would say Cortland Sutton. Thoughts on Hollywood Brown this week? I don't know. What's he going to get targeted 5 times? I mean, Hollywood Brown is like a 2 or 3 or 4 wide receiver if you think about it. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood. He's a filler inner right now, and yeah, he had 20 points because Xavier Worthy went out, but it could be somebody else this week. I know that he's out, but what I'm saying is I think it's sort of wide receiver by committee there. I'm not sold that he's the go-to person. I think he was the go-to person for that game. You know how Green Bay would have, 1 week Jaden Reed would have the most points last year, and then Dobbs would have the most points the next week, and then Wicks would have. I see that with Kansas City. Could he do that? Yes. And maybe next week I'm going to say I was completely wrong, but well, let's just see. Let's just see for a second. Let's just Hollywood Brown. Where are we at here? Come on. Yeah, Marquise. They have him listed double. Okay, and then where are we at here? Receiving Xavier. Kansas City NFL depth charts. Okay, Hollywood Brown is the number 2 receiver. So technically, he's the number 1 receiver. Oh, Juju Smith-Schuster is the number 3. Okay. Yeah, I guess Hollywood Brown is the number 1. I didn't even realize with all the injuries that he's the number 1. Yeah. Is he going to put up 15, 20 points? Probably not, but if he got 20 points this week or whatever it was, he should be able to get over 12. So yeah, I think you could probably start him if you have him, if he's one of your best options. All right. Hawkinson or Kraft. I would just keep going with Kraft because he plays on Green Bay. They're probably the best team in the NFC right now. I mean, you can say what you want about Philadelphia, but I don't know how they're going to beat or stop Green Bay. Nix, Penix, Stafford, Jones start. You have 4 quarterbacks. Shame on you. Tatted smoker. Shame on you. Like, that's too many quarterbacks. Like, that's not even fair to other teams. Like, why do you have 4 quarterbacks? Nix, Penix, Stafford, Jones. I'll just put that in for the hell of it. I think having 4 quarterbacks is not worth it. You should trade for somebody or to somebody and get somebody. And you're talking about Daniel Jones, right? Nix, Jones, Stafford. I'm forgetting Penix. The experts picked Bo Nix. He plays Indianapolis. And Daniel Jones plays Denver, so I don't think he's going to have it as good of a game as he had. Penix plays Minnesota. They're pretty good defensively. Matthew Stafford plays Tennessee. I don't know why he doesn't get any. Okay, I'll just say Bo Nix if you're going to pick somebody, maybe based on the matchup. Nate could play out to be a good trade. ETN looked good, and Tank being traded is good for him. Yeah, it could be. We'll see. I mean, ETN was horrible last year. He had a great weekend. I'm a little cautious. Let's see how he does this week, and then I'll say, hey, look, I think you can, easily start ETN. I think that is not a problem, and you could do that. Pick up Justin Fields off waivers. Well, if you need a quarterback, I think you can do that. Sideline Buzz FX. I like your name. Good name from one sideline to another. Yeah, I think Justin Fields had a. I think he threw a lot better than I thought he was. Garrett Wilson put up a lot of good points. So, like, if you need a backup quarterback because you don't have 4 quarterbacks like the other guy had, I think it makes sense. I have Justin Fields as a on my bench. I know that he can run a lot, and so he's going to score with his legs. as well. And so you get, a good chunk of points with that. All right. I traded Javonte Williams. Good job. Olave and Adunze for K9, Debo, and Diggs. So you traded a running back and 2 wide receivers for a running back and 2 wide receivers. Quite honestly, yes, I think K9, even though I'm not high on K9, I think he's better than Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams scored his points basically on 2 touchdowns. Can he replicate that every week? Probably not. However, they obviously showed that in short yardage at the goal line, they're going to put Javonte in. So he could score some points on that. He could be in the area of K9 if K9 goes the way he went towards the end of last season, which is when he was, sort of, sorry about that, guys, when he was sort of, dog doo-doo. So Debo and Diggs, yeah. I think Debo and Diggs are solid because it looks like Caleb's not going to throw to Adunze like he did to start last season. Should I pick up Javonte Williams from wire? Well, do you not have any other running backs? As I just said, Javonte Williams scored his points on touchdowns. And if he's not scoring touchdowns, how's he getting his points? And that's always my worry. It's just like James Cook with Buffalo. That's how he scored his points last year. He had only like 1,000 yards or whatever. Man, I got a cough. He only had 1,000 yards, but he had like 18 touchdowns. Chase Brown, Connor, and Diggs for Bijan and Rice. Chase Brown, Connor, and Diggs. Yeah, I mean, Bijan is someone you put in and you feel good about week in and week out. Chase Brown is just a little bit weaker than that. Connor is a little bit, I believe, a little bit weaker than Chase Brown, not by much. And I think once Rice comes back, I think he'll be putting up the points that Hollywood Brown put up this week. So, and I don't know that Diggs is going to be the clear favorite in New England. So, yeah, I don't think it's bad. Drop Eckler for Javonte Williams. Okay. Jesus Flores, slow down. It's after week 1. Javonte Williams scored most of all his points on 2 touchdown runs. Is he going to replicate that week in and week out? Probably not 2, maybe 1 every once in a while. But I don't know that the Eagles defense is as good as we think it is. Okay. So there's that. So you can do that because I don't think there's much gas in the tank for Eckler. And so you're picking up Javonte Williams saying this guy had a better week and I think he's going to have a better week. I would just monitor the situation and see, how they're using him. Oh, up Horrocks sent 2 Dolphins. All right. What am I missing here? Okay. 3 times Dolphins, 5 times Roses doesn't get you moved up. Yes, it gets you moved up. I'm sorry. Where's your question, dude? Ask it again. I'm sorry. Where are you at here? Up Horrocks. Okay. I know you're mad at me. I apologize. I don't have any whatchamadoodles in here to help me out ever. They take the nights off. They go to baseball. Where's your question? Up Horrocks, just resend your question, dude. Are you still here? Yeah, send your question. I can't find it. Gosh darn it. I totally get why you're mad. I would be mad too. Where is it? I need you to be like my thing.
Does that print out 20 pieces of paper in it?
I don't know.
Well, I just printed 20 copies.
Hold on. Here. Just put this in that back. You see where they're right there? Put that in there. Okay, did he? I just resent it. Dude, I'm not seeing it. Okay, no, dude, your question is not coming up. That is bizarre. Is there a word in there that's weird? I just resent it. And then before that, I got 3 times Dolphins, 5 times Roses. Doesn't get you moved up. Yeah, no, it does. It does. Okay. I took out salaries. Okay. I just resent. Dude, send it again. Just Send it again, please. I want to help you out. I'm helping this Horrocks out. He's mad at me because I didn't get to his questions. I agree with him. Petros, is it off? I don't know what's going on. There must be a word in there that's tripping up TikTok. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Maybe that was getting it blocked. I don't know why. Well, send it again or go to YouTube and send it. Go to Sideline Fans on YouTube. I'm not getting it. The last comment I got from you at Horrocks is maybe that was getting it blocked. I don't know why. Laugh out loud. I took out salaries. What is going on? I hate when this happens because I feel bad. I mean, I actually genuinely feel bad. Okay, maybe send it again. Horrocks, send it again. Or send it in two things. Send it in two comments. TikTok is dumb. I'll head over. Okay. To YouTube. Fine. I'll look for you on YouTube. That's fine. Okay. Armin Attel. Trade. Do you think it is worth it for trading AJ Brown and Aaron Jones for Amon-Ra or another high-level wide receiver? Yeah, if you want a wide receiver. AJ Brown and Aaron Jones could get you Justin Jefferson. Amon-Ra is probably a very fair trade, but it could get you just a teeny bit better. Could get you a teeny bit better. You could push the envelope and try to get Jamar Chase. But Aaron Jones had a decent day. A.J. Brown, as we know, didn't. So I don't know. Would you trade London for Jacobs? Non-PPR, Chase, Puka, Egbuka, or other wide receivers, Harvey, Pollard, running backs? Okay, hold on. Would you trade London for Jacobs? Chase, Puka. Okay, so you have good wide receivers. Harvey, Pollard, running backs. Yeah, Harvey's still a little bit of a question mark. Pollard, as long as Spears isn't playing, Pollard has good value. You know what? I want to apologize. Jacobs was one of my favorite running backs last year. He had 13 fantasy points, and this is even low. This is like half PPR. Yeah, I would do that trade. I mean, Jacobs last year, if you look at Jacobs week to week, game by game, he was getting in the teens, and that's one of my recipes of success. Wide receivers, running backs get you 13 or more every week. Your quarterback gets you 20 or more every week, maybe 19, but 20 or so. Your tight end gets you at least 8, if not 9, 10. Your kicker gets you close to 10 every week. You know, you're going to put up points and you're going to do good. Those are the players you need to fill in your positions. You know, what kind of, and Jacobs does that, you know, week in and week out. And that's hard to do. I mean, players just don't do that. Where's Horrocks on YouTube? All right. Who should I trade Coleman for? Whoever you can get. I mean, the thing about that's a great question, Luke. Okay. And the reason why is everyone's high on Keon Coleman. So maybe now, if you're like a wheeler dealer, a riverboat gambler, or whatever they always say, you know, okay, here we go. Horrocks here. Okay. Let me just get to you in 1 second, Horrocks. I know. Let me just finish my point. You know, look at Coleman. You might be able to get, like, if you need a running back, you might be able to get like a Kyron Williams, maybe someone's high. Look for a team that needs a wide receiver and might have many running backs. Or if you need a wide receiver, look for a wide receiver like Cortland Sutton. You know, you can trade Cortland Sutton straight up for Coleman or something like that. It'll probably be a wide receiver for a running back. Okay. Horrocks here. I think TikTok must have been okay. What's your question? Yeah, Obi-Wan Jacoby or Horrocks, just ask me your question, dude. It's not coming up on YouTube either. What is going on? Is he actually sending me a question? If anybody's actually paying attention, I don't know that Horrocks is actually sending me a question. I think he's just yelling at me because I haven't answered it yet. Pick 2, BTJ, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy, BTJ. But let's see. You know what? Let's see what the experts say. BTJ. BTJ, Jerry Jeudy. A lot of love for Jerry Jeudy, man. People want him to be the next big thing, don't they? They're saying Brian Thomas Jr. And then they're saying, well, let's do this. Then they're saying Jerry Jeudy. Even though Michael Pittman had 20 points, they're saying it ain't going to happen. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, okay. Seriously, Uphorix? Seriously? I haven't got your question yet. What's going on here, dude? Uphorix, just send the question. I'm getting nervous now. Thoughts on A.J. Brown? He's got to get better, right? Like A.J. Brown's got to put up points. He's not going to be completely out of it, number one. He's got to get better. And I know that that's a weak answer, kind of like, oh, he's got to get better. But what I'm saying really is, he's going to get better. I mean, but they only target him one freaking time, I mean, you take what the defense gives you, I guess, to a certain extent, but it was all Hurts that game. So, you got to figure in the next 2 or 3 weeks, they're going to get him the ball and he's going to put his points back. I wouldn't rush to get rid of him. Give him a week, give him maybe another week, and then see where he's at. You'll really know. I heard it was a former player who said, week one, you really don't know what you have. After week one, you kind of know what you have and you kind of know what you can work with. It doesn't mean that somebody who wasn't scoring points is not going to, or who was scoring points is going to continue that. It just means you know what you have. Okay, I think Uphorix actually got his question here. Running back 1 is Jordan Mason. Running back 2 is Tyjae Spear when he comes off the IR. I've been trying up and down to trade wide receivers for a running back. $300 salary dynasty. Yeah, you don't really have any running backs right now because Jordan Mason, while he may take the job of Aaron Jones, he hasn't yet. He's a bigger guy. So he probably will, or there'll be games where he just blows up, Aaron Jones, or he gets the dominating amount of carries. My fear on that is, Tyjae Spears isn't even playing right now. And God forbid if Pollard does really well, Tyjae might be sort of, pushed back a little bit. You got to look at like Tampa Bay. Rachaad White, before Bucky Irving came there, was put up some good numbers, but then Bucky came and he was relegated. So the only counter offer I've gotten back is Davante Adams, $35, Jackson Dart for $1 for Cross Key Merritt. Davante Adams, $35. Jackson Dart, the only counter for Cross. Wait. Who do you have? Do you have Davante Adams and Jackson Dart, or do you have Cross Key Merritt? Like, you don't need a wide receiver, though, do you? You need a running back, right? Isn't that what you're looking for? So I would say, Adam, you have Adams and Dart. Okay. You don't have Adams and Dart. You're going to get Adams and Dart. Yeah, I mean, if it's a dynasty league, why would you want to get rid of Dart? Because he might have some real value. I kind of agree with your conclusion there. I don't know that I would get rid of Dart because he is so cheap in a dynasty league. Yeah. Mayfield's your starter, but Dart might be starting by the end of the season. And just think if he can actually throw the ball to Malik Neighbors just a few times a game, they're going to score some points. Yeah, I mean, but I'm worried about getting. I don't know that I would get rid of Dart in a like a keeper league like that. I just wouldn't. Even if he he may be Baker Mayfield in 2 or 3 years. Like he may be sort of an underrated, really good quarterback. Because I don't think Baker Mayfield gets enough. I don't think he gets enough love as he should. He gets so overshadowed by, the big 4, what 5, whatever you want to talk. JD 5, Mahomes, even Burrow, Lamar, Josh, and now Herbert. Who had a good game finally. Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of Dart. I just wouldn't. All right, we got through. Hey, Beto's back. We got through Uphorix. Thank you, Uphorix, for being very kind and patient. Can only start two. DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, and Coleman. I would go DJ Moore and Coleman. Ride the hot hands right now. I don't think the pass game with Philadelphia is quite thought through all the way. Pick two running backs and one for flex. Gibbs, Henry. Okay. Gibbs and Henry. Okay. I would go Gibbs, Henry, and Kamara if you want to be conservative. I would go Gibbs, Henry, and roll the dice with ETN, thinking that, he could have another big game. And the reason why I say that is if you look, 2 or 3 years back, he was one of the best running backs in the NFL. And why can't he do it now? He did it this past week. He was one of the best. Let's see. Where am I at with this? Yeah, Travis Etienne had 143 yards. He didn't even have a touchdown. Holy cow. He had 143 yards. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to think that Travis Etienne couldn't do it. I just think Kamara's more steady. That's all. All right, let's take a real quick. Let me just talk for 1 second. I do have a fantasy football book. Go to Amazon, search Geiser, Geiser. I also have subscriptions and memberships on YouTube, subscriptions on TikTok. What that gets you is for $2.99. You can direct message me anytime, any day, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like if you message me at 3 a.m, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. to message you back. But as soon as I get up, I'll respond to you and say, oh yeah, you should start this guy, or, oh yeah, that trade's really good for you. Or, oh, you're looking for this kind of guy. Have you thought about these kinds of running backs, or whatever the case is? Hit that like button. We're only at 1,800 likes. Let's get that to 2,000. Hit that like button on YouTube. You can only hit it once. Hit that. I have a membership on, I think it's $2.99 as well, except I don't know how you would DM me on YouTube. Is there a DM feature on YouTube? You might have to go to TikTok to DM me. That's the only thing. I would keep them. Should I drop Nix for Fields? No, you shouldn't. Nix will get it. Look at what he did with Drew Brees. I'm talking about his coach. Now, you might want to pick up Fields for insurance, like drop your second tight end or second kicker or second defense or something like that. Or like if you have Nick Chubb on the bench, you might want to pick up Fields and keep Nix just, to play cool. But it's been 1 week, guys. It's been 1 week. Like, I'm not even talking about who has the best defense for fantasy or the best offense for fantasy. I'm not going to do that until at least after this coming weekend, maybe even after week 3, because you need to have so many games in hand to really project those things. Who should I start at flex? He's got a lot of options here. Hollywood, RJ, Johnston, Golden, Judkins. I'd probably go Hollywood because he's the number 1 in Kansas City. He had a great week. RJ, not so much. Johnston. I'm thinking Johnston. Golden did not put up any numbers. Judkins, it's a 3-headed monster there. Hey, what's up? Ruby, thanks for the sub, Ruby. Don't forget, you can direct message me anytime and I will get back to you with my answers. So that's the benefit of subscribing. It's only $2.99, guys. It's not going to break the bank. It's $2.99 a month. So I don't know, what is it, 7 months? So it's $3. It's $21. If you hate me after 3 months, you can just leave and not pay it. But, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, if you say, who should I start? Or is this trade good? I'm not just going to say who to start or who to pick. I'm going to tell you why I think that way. And that's what I try to do to be just a little bit different in all of this. All right. Yeah. Ruby, message me. And also when you're on live like this, it'll tell me when you're on live and you can go to the front of the line because you are a subscriber. So just know that as well. Outside of the 2 Dolphin thing, if you are a subscriber, you can go to the front of the line just by joining the live stream. All right. We don't have any questions on YouTube. YouTube goes like this. It starts out good and then it fades away. All right. Riley, how you feel about this? I get Nico, Puka, Hubbard for Bucky and Chase. Nico, Puka. I mean, okay. Bucky was much more consistent when he was playing well last year towards the end of the season. Hubbard was still inconsistent. All right. So know that going in. But you're getting Puka and Nico. Remember, when Nico went down with his injury, he was leading the NFL or second in the NFL in yards, receiving yards. Let me just see. You know what? I gotta look up. What did Nico? Man, this cough is really annoying. Yeah, he didn't do so well, huh? And he's got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay traditionally isn't great offensively. I don't think it's a bad trade. The only fear I have is Nico Collins really didn't have a great week one. I like the fact that you're getting Puka because I think Puka, he may not. Well, first of all, he doesn't have the name recognition Chase does for obvious reasons because Chase got the triple crown for receivers. However, I think Puka, like Chase Brown, let's just say Chase Brown gets 1,700 yards this year. Okay, let's just say that. Or let's say he gets 1,500. Okay, whatever. I think Puka could be 1,400 or more or 1,350 or more. Like, I think he's going to be in the ballpark of Chase. Boy, I keep hitting that tonight. Got to stop talking with my hands. So, Riley, I actually think it's a pretty good trade because then you get Nico, who hopefully will have a much better week 2 and beyond. And Hubbard is maybe the poor man's Bucky, sort of the way Puka is of Chase, kind of, like if Bucky, let's just say, gets 1,700 yards, Hubbard could maybe he gets 1,400. The one thing I have to say is, and I don't have all the numbers, I haven't looked at all the numbers, what is this? How are they going to put Rico Dowdle in? They signed him, and he did when he was the starter with Dallas. I thought he did very well. And towards the end of the season, people were starting him in the playoffs, so I was very impressed with that. So yeah, I think it's a good trade for you because Nico could be like Chase's equal, He really could. He started last year just like that. So, all right. I just traded Amon-Ra, Achane, Kupp for Neighbors, Genty, Adams. Okay, Kupp may be done. I've been saying the opposite. He may be done. Achane. Well, let's look. What did Achane do points wise? Okay, he did real well. Okay, so he might be the only person on Miami that puts up points. Amon-Ra is going to put up points. The thing about it, Jeremy, is this. Genty had a good game. Adams had an okay game. He was a little down. Let me see. You got to hope that Genty continues to play well. The thing with Neighbors, and here's why I don't think you got fleeced. Well, you're going to be fleeced for a couple of weeks. Russell Wilson is not the answer, but I have a feeling that Russell Wilson won't be the starter this time next week. Like going into week 3, he won't be the starter anymore. They may go with Jackson Dart. The only question I have about that, or the only concern to be specific that I have about that, is the fact that can Jackson Dart be Jaden Daniels in week 3 for his first start, or is he going to be more of a Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, where it takes him a few games, And you got to realize they're going to be putting heat all over him. I mean, Cam Ward was not. People were big on Cam Ward. He pooped the bed, So is Dart going to be Cam Ward, or is he going to be Jaden Daniels? What I'm saying about that is, by getting Neighbors, you got a really great wide receiver, but he needs a quarterback to be effective. So you might win because of Neighbors, but it might not be till week 6, 7, and 8 that he becomes the Malik Neighbors that you want him to be. Okay, and Amon-Ra is going to get a lot of chase from Jameson Williams and all of that. And to be honest with you, Detroit's not Detroit right now. I mean, Amon-Ra, Achane, and Kupp. Achane's probably the best pick there. Neighbors, Genty, and Adams. Adams might not be what he used to be. Genty might be the top there, but Neighbors should be the top once they get a solid quarterback that can throw the ball well. All right. What do you think of DJ Moore? I think he's going to be the number one receiving option for Caleb Williams. So I think I feel good about it. He got a lot of targets, didn't he? I got to spell his name right. I know it's 2 O's, but for some reason this week, he got maybe 10 points. He was targeted 5 times. He had 8. What? Oh, rushing. He rushed? Wow. Okay. He rushed 3 times. He received 3 times for 68 yards. Well, they're trying all kinds of things. I think DJ Moore should be good. I mean, he's obviously, sort of that, Ben Johnson, the coach, understands that he's going to be like a playmaker on the team. So, okay. Pearsall, DK, or Sutton? Pearsall, DK, or Sutton? Let's see what the experts say. Pearsall, DK, or Sutton? Pearsall, Metcalf, or Sutton? Well, they're saying Cortland Sutton 52 to DK 48. I would maybe go Sutton because he plays Indianapolis. I think their defense might be a little more porous, if you will. So I would say Cortland just by a smidge. What did DK? What was his point total? Oh, he had 12. What did Sutton have? Sutton had 18. Yeah. I would go Sutton. Okay. Where are we at here? Worry about Mark Andrews. Do I look at waivers for a new tight end? Yeah. You probably look at waivers for a tight end, but I don't know that. Well, first of all, do you have a backup tight end? It sounds like you probably don't if you're looking for that. All right, Ruby, I will look for your message when the stream ends. I will go to TikTok and answer everybody's questions. So thank you very much, Ruby. I will look at that tonight. Worry about Mark Andrews. You might want to give Mark Andrews one more week, and then you can kind of punt him. But if you really think somebody's out there and you want him, then make the switch. Or you could sort of get the safety net. And if you have like Nick Chubb on your bench, maybe you drop Nick Chubb for a second tight end and keep Mark Andrews and see who plays better the next 2 weeks. I mean, I've done that kind of stuff before because I'm not really sure. It's only been 1 week. So the storyline has not been told. I mean, if you look at the players that come and go, like let's say that we're in week 10, okay? And Mark Andrews, let's just say, makes 29 points, okay? Everybody, if he's on the waiver wire, everybody's going to go and, sign him, or they're going to say, look, his first 9 games, he got no more than 7 points, and they're not going to sign him, okay? So you just be patient, and if you're worried about it, consider, you're waiving your second kicker for a new tight end and holding on to both and seeing what you want to make on that. But yeah, I mean, you should be looking for that. You should be looking at numbers. And a lot of people are talking about this Juwan Johnson. You might want to look if he's available, although he probably isn't, or people have claims on him. But if you have a good claim position, maybe you can get him, and that would be strong. So what do you think? Ruby asks, what do you think? I'm about to pick up Danny Dimes. Should I start him or Lawrence week 2? Trevor Lawrence, you mean? He did have a good. I just don't know that Daniel Jones, since he's playing Denver. I don't know that Daniel Jones is going to have a good week because my problem is that, Denver's defense is really good, and you got Patrick Surtain, who was named the best defensive player last year. So I'm not sold on, Danny Dimes, if you will. Trevor Lawrence. Hold on. I can't spell Trevor right either. Okay. Yeah, see, Trevor plays Cincinnati. I would start Trevor over Daniel Jones. I would start Trevor over Daniel Jones because of the matchup. Cincinnati's defense it's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. It made Cleveland look like a Super Bowl contender as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if it wasn't for their kicker, they should have won that game. Cincinnati would have lost easily. So yeah, I would go Trevor Lawrence. Now you may come back and say, "You son of a," Daniel Jones. Look, Daniel Jones is playing one of the best defenses. He has Patrick Surtain to deal with, so that's going to take out one of his wide receivers. Who else is he going to be able to throw to? Who's going to show up? The Daniel Jones from last year, who was basically asked to be cut, I believe. Or Trevor Lawrence has to be the Trevor Lawrence that we all thought he would be years ago. So, he did have a good week. I know it's just 1 week. Well, he had 11 points. It wasn't a great week. 107 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He rushed for 12 yards. That's nothing. Daniel Jones had 29 points. He threw for 272. He rushed. Yeah, I would still go Trevor Lawrence because of the matchup and the fact that. Hold on. I don't know why I can't remember anything tonight. I think Miami's just abysmal. So I don't think they have any. Oh, Gabe's here. That means we're probably getting spammed. Yo, should I pick up Daniel Jones, Penix, Geno, or Rodgers? Come on, dude. Seriously? I think you should pick up Penix. Or maybe Rodgers. Okay. I'll put it in, Gabe, because I love you so much. But I've just been talking about Daniel Jones. I think he has a tough matchup. I think Trevor Lawrence has a better matchup. Ruby, I'm not trying to disregard you at all. I for the 8th time, I'm going to say that I would definitely pick up or start Trevor Lawrence. I just fear that Daniel Jones and Denver's defense are not going to be a good day for him. All right. Okay. Gabe, you have so many players that you want me to always talk about. And I got to save some of this, and you never, ever donate anything. Who did you say quarterback-wise? Daniel Jones, Penix, Geno, or Rodgers? Good Lord, man. Geno, Penix, Rodgers with a D. Who's the other one? Or Daniel Jones. D. Jones. Yeah, I would go Penix. Even though they play Minnesota, who I think has a good defense. Aaron Rodgers, they're saying Daniel Jones over Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't think Geno Smith is a great quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones. Well, I think Aaron Rodgers will have a better day than Geno Smith. I am very suspect about Daniel Jones playing. I know he had 29 points or whatever it was, but against Denver, I just don't think that's going to be a good matchup for him. And Penix, Penix put up 24 points, but he started poorly and was very smooth and found his rhythm. And I think if he does that again, Minnesota's really going to be in trouble. So, all right. I can't just, Amanda's back. Is Amanda asking questions though? Amanda usually has questions. She's another one of my subscribers. She's been a subscriber last year too. I appreciate the support. I don't see Amanda. If you're still around, which it doesn't look like you are, if you have questions, send them. Okay. Should I be worried about AJ Brown? A little bit. Look, again, it was week 1. This is obviously week 2, duh. But let's see how you're not going to drop AJ Brown before week 2. You're not going to drop him before week 3. After week 3, you kind of will know where their offense is headed, and you may drop him, or you may trade him or put him on waivers because someone else is doing well. But let's give it a few weeks. Gabe, come on, dude. I got to one of your questions. So Penix over Rodgers. Yes, I said that, Gabe. Holy cow. What would you think? Herbert, or Kyler? Ooh, that's a good question. Herbert had such a good game, man. I was not on the Herbert bandwagon, but man, I got to tell you, he changed my thought about him. I don't know that he's. I mean, is he in the top 10? Probably. I really like Kyler Murray. If you look at Kyler Murray's numbers last year for the regular season, they were on par with Jalen Hurts. I mean, he was, as far as I'm concerned, he was a top 10. Las Vegas. Oh, man. See, the experts are picking Justin Herbert over Kyler Murray. So are those the two that you were looking at? Oh, you didn't hear me. That's no problem. Tyreek or Coleman? I would go Coleman. Tyreek pooped the bed, Milo. Boy, you think Kyler Murray isn't going to do good against Carolina? I don't know about that. I mean, I guess Trevor Lawrence didn't have a fantastic game, but they're picking Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert played so well. There will be momentum. They're away. I guess I would go Justin Herbert again. I mean, he was even thrown to Keenan Allen. So, I mean, you know. Okay, Hollywood, Coleman, or Debo. I would go Hollywood again. He had a great game. He's going to be the number one receiver again this week. You know, I mean, I believe Xavier's still out or will be out. Coleman was fine, but I don't think he had the day Hollywood did, and he still has to compete with Khalil Shakir and Debo and Terry, and who's going to get the ball. That's my worry. Yeah, I agree with you, Carter. I mean, I think Herbert is. I won't say he's great, but I mean, I knew he was better than average. Everyone touted him as higher, but man, that game last week, and he was incredible. I mean, he was Patrick Mahomes against Patrick Mahomes. He was winning with his legs. He was making plays. I was very impressed with him. There were a lot of, Penix the second half. I was impressed with him. I, got to be very impressed with JJ McCarthy as well. I was very disappointed with Caleb Williams. I thought that, they were going to be unstoppable. So, okay. I think I'm just going to give it a little bit more time, guys, and then I'll probably bow out for the night. If you haven't, hit that like button, hit that follow button on TikTok. Anybody on YouTube, if you're out there on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I do have memberships where you can message me at any time, and I'll get back to your DMs on TikTok. I do have a membership on YouTube. It's $2.99, and it's the same price on TikTok. Although on YouTube, I don't know if they have it. They don't have a DM component, do they? It's kind of stupid that they don't. Should I keep the Vikings defense? Oh boy, you're asking about defenses now. Let's just see. Hold on. Oh, what is this nonsense? Okay. Let me look something up real quick. What do we go? Minnesota. Oh, this is going to give me week 1. They have 5 points. It starts with week 2. Stupid Yahoo. Vikings. I mean, I think it's sort of a rush to judgment to get rid of a defense after week 1. However, they weren't really that good, were they? Let's see. Oh, boy. My teams. Let's see here. Players. Hold on. If I could spell. Hold on. Defense. Okay. No, I don't want I want week 2. how do I go back? Okay. They're projected to have 6.9 points. They are opponent rank. Let's see. Week 2 projection. Okay, that doesn't help me out. That's not what I'm looking for. They had 4 points against Chicago. Chicago had a good offensive line, improved. They played Atlanta, Cincinnati. I mean, I would hold on to Minnesota till after Cincinnati, week 3. And if they can't do much, they can't do much against Cincinnati. I'm using Cleveland as a benchmark because Cleveland's defense looked really good. If they can't have a pretty good, decent job against Cincinnati, I would consider getting rid of them. But I wouldn't get rid of them now. I think after week 1, it's a little early to do that. You know, unless on the waiver wire there's some team defense that's out there that's just off the charts, awesome. You know, and you're like, oh my God, should I take them? You know, and you want to gamble. Gabe, you're like asking every single question. I can't answer all of your questions, dude. Okay, I appreciate the support, but Murray or Mayfield? Woo-hoo. I have a hard time not saying Baker Mayfield, man. I mean, he's one of I feel like he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks. Like, people just don't talk about him. Although, well, this makes sense. Kyler Murray plays Carolina. Baker Mayfield plays Houston. So based on matchups, you could probably go with Murray, but I would not overlook Mayfield. Meaning, matchup-wise, everything points to Murray. But Baker Mayfield is very, very consistent. And he has people to throw to, and he has a good run game. It's a very balanced offense in Tampa Bay. But Houston has a very good defense. So that's the one caveat that might disrupt Baker Mayfield's day. So the safe choice is Kyler Murray. If you want to roll the dice, possibly, although I don't know why you would, because Murray should have a pretty good game, you could go with Baker. But it's good that you have those choices, to be honest with you, because they're both probably going to have decent days. I mean, Baker almost always gets at least in the upper teens, even on a bad day. All right, guys, my throat is really bad, but Ruby, I will look at your question after I get off the live stream and talk to you all tomorrow night, and have a great day. Thanks for watching, everybody.